All right, back to the ongoing conflict in Gaza and between Gaza and Israel. It's drawing other countries into the region as well. Leaders in Egypt, Jordan, Saudi Arabia, and Qatar are calling for a ceasefire. Qatar has been instrumental in negotiating hostage releases for 4 people who've been returned by Hamas. Meanwhile, Iran's foreign ministry says that it has also been in talks with Hamas and has discussed the release of hostages from other countries. So for more on this, let's bring in Paul Salem. He is the president and CEO of the Middle East Institute. Thank you so much for joining us. Let's start with explaining the role Qatar is playing in this conflict and why they're able to mediate.
Thank you, Anne-Marie. Well, Qatar has had long-standing relationships both with Hamas and with Israel. It has, in coordination with Israel, been funneling economic aid to Gaza, both for the humanitarian needs there and also helping pay employees and civil servants in the Gaza Strip. It has maintained working relationships with Hamas. A couple of Hamas leaders live in Qatar. This was part of an arrangement with Israel in which Israel and successive governments in Israel were sort of coexisting with Hamas. And figuring that it wasn't a major threat. Occasionally there would be flare-ups, but otherwise it wasn't a major worry. Obviously, all of that has been shattered by the attacks of October 7, but Hamas is very well placed to mediate, particularly to try to gain the release of hostages that Hamas and other groups in Gaza are currently holding.
You know, Israel in recent years has been sort of inching its way towards normalizing relationships with its immediate neighbors and in and around the Middle East. I wonder, though, what risk does Israel run as this attack on Hamas continues? You know, we're talking about this incredible humanitarian crisis. We're seeing young children, mothers. The imageries, the video that comes out of Gaza is absolutely heartbreaking. Is there a risk with this ongoing unrest that some of the inroads that Israel has made with its Arab neighbors will disintegrate?
Yes, definitely the risk is there. I mean, actually, the Hamas attacks were probably designed to break this momentum towards normalization that had started in 2020 under the Trump administration and was set to continue with Saudi Arabia and Israel under the Biden administration. So it was probably designed to create exactly the backlash and the conditions that we see today. First of all, obviously polarizing Israeli opinion because of the horrific attacks that were perpetrated by Hamas, and then polarizing Arab opinion, given that Israel predictably would react in a very massive way. So yes, this does disrupt what was happening. It also points to the fact that many people had warned, including myself previously, that you cannot have a stable normalization between Israel and the Arab countries without addressing the Palestinian issue. And this has come back to haunt all parties, and one must find a way forward.
So, you know, I understand it's only been a couple of weeks since Hamas's attack, and Israel's focus is twofold. It is to, you know, get these hostages released, but also to root out Hamas, to decapitate Hamas. The question, though, is what is a Gaza without Hamas? Is that a realistic goal to root out Hamas?
Well, first of all, the two goals are a little bit contradictory because obviously Hamas and other groups that took hostages, that is certainly leverage in trying to slow or to stop an Israeli advance or an Israeli invasion. So it militates against sort of a full-blown Israeli invasion. The invasion itself, the incursion, which has been still postponed, still has not happened, will definitely be a very, very difficult, very drawn-out military affair. All military experts will tell you that the urban warfare that would await an Israeli ground force would be an extremely large challenge. What is possible is that an incursion or an invasion would go part way into Gaza and then might, halt at a certain point, in which case you might have two Gazas, a Gaza controlled by Hamas, probably in the south, and then part of the north or all of the north, maybe controlled by Israel, and then to figure out where to go from there.
Is the hope for a two-state solution still a possibility?
Well, it is the only alternative for moving forward. Although, given what successive Israeli governments have been doing on the West Bank, has been to create a patchwork, more than a patchwork of settlements and highways and roadblocks to make the possibility of even a semi-state on the West Bank almost impossible. But still, there is no other way forward for Israel or for Israel and the Palestinians. A one-state solution is something that many Palestinians are beginning to become reconciled to. Let's all be citizens of one state and have equal rights, but it's something that the Jewish majority in Israel fully rejects. So there isn't a one-state solution on offer. Israel has blocked off a two-state solution. I think it's a very good sign that President Biden has come out and said that we must do everything possible after this crisis to revive and work towards a two-state solution. There is no other future possible.
Paul Salem, thank you very much.
Thank you, Anne-Marie.